What's up with it, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Raider Honcho, and I'm back with a brand new video. If you're a fan of the Las Vegas Raiders and want to support this channel, please subscribe. Now, don't forget, check out RaiderHoncho.com. So, I'm going to give you my recap of day one in free agency. Obviously, I'm sure you heard most of the news, just like everybody's heard most of the news, but it's very important that I give you my take on what's going on with the Las Vegas Raiders. And if you saw the thumbnail, you're seeing that there's a big-ass trash can on it, and that's really what I think the overall vibe of free agency has been the first day was trash. Now, obviously, I made the dumb thumbnail before we signed Yannick, so maybe the trash can wouldn't be as big, but nonetheless, just the things I'm hearing, just some of the things that I'm seeing, just overall vibe of the day was trash. Now, I will say that it's good news that we did sign Yannick to a deal, and we did get him on a bargain for a good price. I know some of you think that we might have overpaid for him, but trust me, we didn't. I think we got a good deal, and I think that that's because of the Gus Bradley connection, and I think that was one of the big differences that Gus Bradley brings where Gunther didn't bring, is that people like Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley being a former head coach, he knows how to treat people, he knows how to treat talent, he understands personalities and stuff like that. So I think Gus Bradley is going to be able to connect with players and actually bring in players that fit his system rather than just bringing in who we can bring in and trying to force them to fit the system and the scheme. So I think that's a real big bonus for us to having Gus Bradley. So I was happy that we signed Yannick. That's one of our biggest needs is pass rush, and we addressed that. So let's just get that right out of the way, because it's definitely more bad news than good news, and let's just roll right into it, okay? So we did sign Yannick. That's good news for me, but I'm hearing reports that we lowballed the hell out of Denzel Good, and now we have to sit back and wait to see what the market is for him, what price tag he's going to have when he comes back to us. But word on the street is that we lowballed him, and he's not happy with what we offered him, and that just kind of ticks me off, because it's like we're in a situation where we have to start evaluating talent better and appreciating our talent better and seeing the value in the players we already have in the building. Too often we get rid of players because we lowball them, we don't want to pay them, we don't think highly of them, and then they go somewhere else and be good players, and I'm just tired of seeing that. So it really bothers me that we lowball Denzel Good. I mean, how much could he have wanted? You know what I mean? So that kind of bothers me with that. Obviously, if you look at my power rankings, I do have Denzel Good pretty high on that list. And I also had Yannick at number 9 out of my top 11 power rankings, free agents. I had Yannick at number 9, so obviously just to put a button on that, I do like the Yannick pickup. Don't get me wrong, I do like that. I did think there was a couple red flags in the run game, but we got him to pressure the quarterback, and I think that's what he does the best, so I'm happy about that signing. The low ball in the Denzel Good really bothers me, and the only positive that comes out of that is that we didn't cut Gabe Jackson yet, so we can wait and see what happens. But it just bothers me that we have a player like Denzel Good that probably wants to be a Raider, and we find a way to just piss these guys off and make them go elsewhere to get the contracts we could probably get them. And speaking of contracts, I would be remiss if I don't mention John Johnson. Now, we all know that he was very high on a lot of people's boards. He was my number 1 free agent in my power rankings, and we did not get him. And I'm not just mad that we didn't get him. I'm not just disappointed that we didn't get him. I'm disappointed that it only cost $11 million a year to get him. I mean, I thought he would get 4 years, upward to $50 million. And the fact that the Raiders didn't get him and it was only $11 million, and then to add insult to injuries, we weren't even in the topic. We weren't even in the conversation. We didn't even make a run at him. Like, to me, that just feels like we're not doing our homework and our due diligence. At least have a phone call with the guy, see what he's looking for. And then rumors are coming out that we might be addressing free safety today on day 2. Free safety we might be addressing today because one of our high targets was a little too pricey than we thought. Now, if they're talking about John Johnson being a little too pricey, $11 million a year is not too pricey for arguably the best free safety on the board right now. So I'm just so confused on what the Raiders are thinking. Get down there in the comment, let me know what you think. Do you think John Johnson priced his way out of Las Vegas? Do you think he was the guy we were looking at? Or were we looking at another safety that got signed for $30 million and we thought that was too much? Because if we think that's too much, I don't know how we're going to get Anthony Harris, because I thought Anthony Harris is going to demand a little more money than 11 million a year. So I guess we'll see. But some free safety options that are still out there is obviously Anthony Harris, and you got to look for Malik Hooker. But honestly, if we don't get Anthony Harris, it's just my opinion that we just draft a free safety. I would take Trayvon Merrick right now at 17, and I think he's a day one starter right now. Richie Grant is also high up there. Andre Cisco is also high up there as well. So I just think I'd rather get Trayvon Merrick than Malik Hooker. That's just my opinion. Also, some more bad news came out that we lost Devontae Booker. He signed with the Giants, I believe. He's a sucker for doing that. But, now we have no backup running back. I think we have Jalen Richard, and that's it, who's really more of our third down back. So we have to start thinking about replacements at the number 2. I'm thinking of Jamal Williams. I'm also thinking of Mike Davis. But if you don't secure that, I think we can draft a running back later in the draft. I like somebody like Chuba Hubbard from Oklahoma State. I also like Chris Evans from Michigan. There are options there that we can get later in the draft. But to me, all these players that are just disgruntled, it just seems like an indictment on John Gruden, in my opinion, and like players not wanting to be here. And that's the bigger issue for me, is that these players, I mean, outside of Gus Bradley, I don't think Yannick comes here without Gus Bradley. So it's just like, I thought Gruden would have that allure, that persona, that personality that would make people want to play here. But it seems like, you know what I mean? It just seems like players come here, develop, and then they get the hell up out of here. And speaking of that, we got to talk about my boy, somebody who I booked that we will bring him back. I was very high on this guy, and that's Nelson Aguilar. He did sign with the Patriots for $13 million a year, 2 years, $26 million. And to me, obviously, we could not pay that, so I can't be mad at him for going to get that bag. I do think the Patriots overpaid vastly on this. And I actually thought that his contract would be with the Raiders 3 years, $21.5, $22 million. And I found out this morning that that's exactly what we offered him, was 3 years, $22 million. So I can't be mad at that, because that's what I would have offered him. That was kind of the ceiling on what I thought we should get him for, $7.5 million, $8 million being tops. So the fact that that didn't happen, I can't really be mad at that. But now you got to start thinking replacements. The only bad part about that is, yeah, you didn't overspend on him, or you didn't overpay him, but now you're going to have to overpay somebody else to replace him, right? Because now Juju's not going to demand anything less than 15, 16 million, in my opinion. You could bring in an AJ Green, you could bring in a Marvin Jones. There's a couple options for us, but we're going to have to really come out of pocket now. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. We'll see what happens today in day 2. It's only about 1 o'clock Eastern right now. Hasn't been much news going on, so we'll have to see on that front. We also missed out on Dalvin Tomlinson. Everybody knows he was my number 2 free agent on my power rankings, and we also missed out on him. So that's negative, but the positive is that in the draft, you're looking at Aleem McNeil, you're looking at Davion Nixon, you are looking at players that you can draft, okay? So it's not a life or death situation. We still have hope. There's still a couple other DTs out there that we could pursue in free agency. Hopefully they're not going to cost us a lot of money. So yeah, we didn't get Dalvin, we didn't get John Johnson. We didn't bring back Nelly. It looks like Denzel Good is pissed off at us. I mean, we are bringing in Kyle Long. He's doing a workout. I think as we speak, he's probably getting ready for his workout. So we'll see how that goes probably later this afternoon. And so, I mean, the only thing I can really tell you at this point is I have no idea what the hell the Raiders are doing. And I'm not quite sure they know what the hell they're doing. But I have faith in the system. I have faith in their plan. And hopefully it all works out. I will say that I think Ingram is close to being a Raider. And I do think Richard Sherman is close to being a Raider. And if we ended free agency with just get Yannick, Ingram, and Sherman, I wouldn't be mad at that. Because then we can just focus on the draft and focus on getting that free safety, focus on getting that DT, and I'm okay with that. I do think Ingram's probably going to be around 2 years, $19 million. I wouldn't mind paying that. And I think Richard Sherman might just come on a 1-year deal, maybe $11 million, $10.5 million. So we'll keep an eye on that. Now, if there are any updates throughout the day, I will get back on here and I'll update you. If you missed it, last night was a legendary night on the live stream. We had first I did my live stream, which was popping, 270 people in there. So I really appreciate y'all stopping by. I know there's a lot of news going on. And even then when there's no news, you just want to hear a familiar voice, somebody who's in the struggle with you, somebody who's just as excited and nervous and anxious as you, and that's me, okay? I live and breathe this Raider shit, so I understand what it's like. You want to hear somebody say something, right? And that's what I'm here to do. So last night my live was popping, and then Graphic Raider had a live last night I pulled up on, and then you had Spotlight on there. You also had freaking Samoan Raider on there. It was just a legendary night, man. So it took me a little longer to get up this morning. So Rock Boys was in the building, and this morning was Mad Real, Sunglasses, and Advil. I wonder if they got cabs still, okay? It was rough for me this morning, but we out here bringing bringing you the news. My voice a little hoarse, but you know what I mean? That's what Raider Honcho do, baby. I push it to the limits, man. I move the envelope. I live it to the fullest, and I'm still here to do my damn job for the people. I ain't never gonna miss out on nothing for the people, you heard? So if you like the video, like the video. If you like the content on this channel, please subscribe to the channel. And until the next time, Raider Honcho out.